All I know is that he did not fall out of a coconut tree. But I want to move on to the future of the Golden State Warriors, Mina. Because owner Joe Lacob said Wednesday that the team feels like it has a future all-star in Brandon Podziemski, but the Warriors are also reportedly interested in trading for Lauri Markkanen and the Jazz, of course. And Steve Kerr has said that only Steph Curry is untradeable. So does Joe Lacob's praise make you think that the Warriors are committed to keeping Podziemski or trying to build his trade value?
I love this question because we're talking about Podziemski, a role player, a very good one, but we're not really talking about him, right? We're talking about the Warriors, the state of the Warriors, how they view themselves, whether they were so burnt from that two-track timeline where they tried to go young and old at the same time and it obviously failed, that they'd be scared from trying it again or ultra committed towards building around Steph to win now. I tend to think it's the latter because while I believe them when they say they're high on Podziemski, and there's a number of reasons to be, right? He's a freaky rebounder at his side. He draws size. He draws a lot of charges. The advanced numbers love him. He's got an extremely valuable rookie contract, especially given the way the cap is now. He is really their only tradable asset. And if they want to go out and get Lauri, and it seems like they would have to if they want to win now with Steph, I feel like he'd be the guy who has to go.
Yeah, this seems like classic posturing to me. I agree. They love this kid. They've tried to get players like this kid and have swung and missed a lot. He's like one of the wisest draft selections they've had in this, again, this two-track timeline that has been disastrous. But I also think that it's simple because Steph Curry is also getting old. And so as much as those 3 years of cost control for Podziemski are incredibly valuable, it's actually less valuable to the Warriors than they want to admit. And so Lauri Markkanen, who is on an expiring deal, he has one more year with the Jazz, a guy who can be yet another shooter, is, I think, he's certainly more ready to play at the all-star level than Podziemski this year, even if he's not the same player at all. Podziemski's an excellent rebounder at 6'4". I just think that they want Markkanen because they need to contend right now, and so they're going to tell you how much they love their 6'4" adult son. It just seems like posturing to get the value up.
I do believe his value, though, is true with what they're saying, especially not just because of his abilities, Pablo, but because of that contract. Teams are so afraid of that second apron now. Yeah, that you look at a player like him who's so cheap, and it's not just that he's good. His contract makes him more valuable than I think it would have otherwise in years past.
Yeah, and if you look at the market right now, Mikal Bridges, what he got, right? Like, reportedly, what is being demanded for Lauri Markkanen, it's not just a Brandon Podziemski.
Hello, Dub Nation. Today we're looking at the latest bombshell updates on the big trades involving Brandon Podziemski, Andrew Wiggins, Lauri Markkanen, Brandon Ingram to the Warriors. My overall thoughts on the Warriors right now lead me to ask this question: have the Warriors improved this offseason? Additionally, would the Warriors be willing to trade Brandon Podziemski in a trade for Lauri Markkanen? And Andrew Wiggins and Moses Moody for Brandon Ingram? These are some of the conversations circulating in the NBA universe. Next, could Brandon Podziemski be traded? Could he be the piece that brings Lauri Markkanen to the Warriors? Brandon Podziemski to the Utah Jazz could bring Lauri Markkanen, the Warriors' desired target. According to Shams Charania, the Jazz don't want to trade Markkanen, but if the Warriors offer Brandon Podziemski and 3 or 4 first-round picks, plus 3 or 4 protected pick swaps, that could seal the deal. It's interesting to think about a trade involving more than 10 draft picks for Lauri Markkanen and Brandon Podziemski. Mike Dunleavy Jr. would be a fool to turn down this trade if Podziemski was the only player involved. While Podziemski played well as a rookie and excelled in Summer League, I don't see how he could become the player that Lauri Markkanen is. Anthony Slater of The Athletic stated on 95.7 The Game that the Warriors do not want to trade Brandon Podziemski as he is loved by the organization. Steve Kerr couldn't keep him off the court as a rookie, something that didn't happen with Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody, who struggled to gain Kerr's trust. Brandon Podziemski is a very good player, but I don't believe he can become an all-star like Markkanen, who was the most improved player and could be the second star next to Steph Curry. Last season, Podziemski averaged 9 points per game, shooting 45.1% from the field and almost 39% from three-point range. His production was good, and he passed the eye test for me. I like his game, and he himself said that, without Klay Thompson, he can be the guy to hit the threes and make plays. In the Summer League, he had notable performances such as 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist against the Kings, 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists against the Suns, making 3 of 6 three-pointers, and 21 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists against the Bulls, with 8 of 14 shooting and 4 of 8 three-pointers. NBC Sports Bay Area's Jordan Elliott said one of Brandon Podziemski's main goals in Summer League was to gain confidence as the number 1 option on the court, something he demonstrated on Sunday. With Steph Curry's tendency to play off the ball and Chris Paul's departure, Podziemski's emergence as the primary point guard in the Warriors' offense will be critical to the team's success. If he continues to play like he did on Sunday, there is plenty of reason to be optimistic. Part of me wants to see a duo of Podziemski and Kuminga rising together, but not at the expense of Steph Curry's last few years of prime. That's why the Warriors are in a difficult position trying to maximize Curry's remaining years. It's not an easy task for Mike Dunleavy Jr. I understand that additions like Kyle Anderson, DeAnthony Melton, and Buddy Hield are solid and help round out the roster's depth. But can Golden State realistically compete in such a loaded Western Conference? I don't think they can, as other teams continue to improve and will return in full form in the 2024 to 2025 season, already being at a higher level than the Warriors. And for the Warriors, the attempt to acquire Paul George did not work out. Paul George wanted to go to the Bay, but the Clippers didn't agree to the deal. However, we are close to signing Lauri Markkanen and Brandon Ingram, who we will talk about soon. The mission for myself, Mike Dunleavy Jr. and Steve Kerr is to build around Steph Curry, who is 36 years old and still playing at a very high level. He needs more help, more talent, and another star on the team. Adding depth with players like Kyle Anderson, DeAnthony Melton, and Buddy Hield is a positive step, but it's not enough to make the Warriors real contenders for the NBA title. Therefore, we need to build a squad that significantly improves the Warriors. As part of the trade talks involving the Warriors, we need to mention Lauri Markkanen. He has been touted as a potential signing for Golden State, and according to The Athletic's Anthony Slater, the Warriors are willing to wait and see if they can land him. Markkanen would be an excellent second option alongside Steph Curry, something the Warriors currently don't have. He has a quick long-range shot, can score points in a variety of ways, and adds more height to the team. While he is not an elite defender, he is passable in that role. Markkanen is young and, with a contract extension, could be part of the team's future, including in the post-Curry period. Markkanen was a former NBA All-Star and won the Most Improved Player award. In the last 2 years, he maintained averages above 23 points and 8 rebounds per game, shooting between 48% and 50% from the field and 39% to 40% from three-point shots. Acquiring Markkanen, however, would require giving up Brandon Podziemski and multiple first-round picks, which would signal a rebuild for the Utah Jazz. The question is whether these picks are worth risking to try to compete for a title while Curry is still in his prime. Another trade option the Warriors are considering is Brandon Ingram of the New Orleans Pelicans. The Pelicans don't appear interested in offering Ingram a contract extension, and the Sacramento Kings, who were interested, ended up signing DeMar DeRozan. Ingram has had an uneven trajectory in terms of confidence, but Golden State has an excellent player development program. He could benefit from playing alongside Curry and Green, much like Andrew Wiggins did during the 2021 to 2022 title campaign. Although Ingram has a slower style of play, he is a talented pitcher and is only 27 years old. Over the past 4 years, Ingram has averaged 21 points per game and shot nearly 49% from the field, although his three-point shooting has declined. In 2020 to 2021, he shot 38% from three, but dropped to 32.7% the following season. Playing alongside Curry, who draws a lot of defensive attention, could provide Ingram with more open shooting opportunities. To acquire Ingram, the Warriors would likely have to get rid of Andrew Wiggins and Moses Moody, as there would be a surplus of players at the wing position. The trade would involve a third team, as the Pelicans likely would not be interested in Wiggins. The Warriors' future is still uncertain with Markkanen, but they could pivot to Brandon Ingram. Additionally, they still need a rim protector pivot. In the comments below, tell us where you think Lauri would be most deadly. Maybe you like the idea of him joining Curry late in his career? It's time for the Warriors to consider a risky move. For years, the Warriors played conservatively, re-signing their veteran stars while using draft picks on young prospects. That was the two-timeline strategy championed by owner Joe Lacob. While it brought them victory in the 2022 NBA Finals, it proved inadequate to sustain their dynasty. The upcoming offseason emerges as a critical moment for the Golden State Warriors, ready to reshape the franchise's trajectory. Will they commit to one last attempt at winning the championship, or will they opt for a financial restructuring? Mike Dunleavy Jr. and the front office face a series of daunting choices, leaving fans eager to find out the team's next moves. Expectations surrounding Golden State's future intensify. Before you finish, make sure to subscribe to the channel. After all, as we said before, we are producing Warriors videos almost every day. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow on Gold-Blooded News. In conclusion, the future looks uncertain for the Golden State Warriors. With the possibility of losing and adding players to the team and the various trade options available, the Warriors are well positioned to continue to be a force to be reckoned with in the NBA. Stay tuned for more updates on the Warriors, and remember to support by leaving your feedback in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications to know when I will send new news. Thank you for following Gold-Blooded News. A hug and see you next time.
We're gold-blooded!
Go Dubs!